to the microphone. Oh man, my microphone fell, man. Alright, let's clip it back in. Alright, so the microphone is put back, it's clipped back in. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? I hope you guys having an amazing day so far. I didn't have a chance to go to do a live stream on my way to work this morning because I was on the phone talking to my team back home because you guys know that I already started running the farm and everything. So after they have done the work and they completed the house and everything, I still have to move the pigs back on the farm, but I had already hired people who are going to be working, with the animals and taking care of the farm and all of that. In order for the pigs to move into the farm, I need them to clear the land and also, clean the pig barn, clean the house, and make the place look like it's look livable, right? So that it was my priority. But the issues that I was having there earlier, I was on the phone with my guys trying to get because I needed to send a little something to him, and because they needed their food for the entire month. So we were discussing, how to go about that. So eventually we came to the conclusion, and I was able to send what they thought was a reasonable amount to get them through the whole month. So I was on the phone having that conversation. Unfortunately, it took me my whole trip, my whole commute to work. So I get there. As soon as I got to work, I had a lot of work to do. So it was a very busy day. But luckily, I didn't work overtime today. Today I just worked regular 8 hours. I was done around 6 p.m. and I stayed a little bit because sometimes like there are things that happen at work that you need to share with other coworkers from another shift. So that kind of like took away almost 45 minutes of my precious time, but I didn't mind that because those conversations were productive. But anyways, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Please let me know in the comment section where you're tuning in from, and I will really appreciate it. Please do me a favor and hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'm sure together we're gonna fight the YouTube algorithm, and I'll really appreciate you guys. So I don't want to waste any more of your time. So I have that title, and it speaks for itself. Where I wanted to talk about procrastinating. Procrastinating is something that people become more comfortable doing without realizing how much is hurting them. Okay, but you guys know that I am going to lean this more towards investments. I'm not going to talk about, I'm not, use procrastinating in a way of doing homeworks at school or any sort of, procrastination, anything like that. I'm going to be focusing more on business plans and things that would change your life for the better, right? Because we all out here trying to do better. We all out here trying to support each other, do better things than what we are doing today. And if there is any way we can support each other with our knowledge, with the way we see things, this is the platform that is good for it. All right, let's use our voices to help each other up. So the problem with procrastinators are a lot of them have plans. Okay, you have planned to do something significant, but because you know the amount of efforts needed to accomplish those goals, it's so greater. So people, they would start making excuse to justify why it's taking them too long to get it done. More so, the sentences they will use: I will do it later. All right, I'll do it tomorrow. Or no, I'll probably wait next year. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You see, I've learned a lot throughout the process of me getting into farming and all of that, right? It took me a long time to finally realize that I really wanted to invest back home because things weren't getting better. And I think I shared this with you guys. I immediately knew that America wasn't for me. I'm only here because I'm still working. I have my job. I'm building towards going back home, right? Because I need a source of income. When I move there, I get to stick around for a long time, and I wanted like needing to come back to America for anything. All right, so that's the reason. And I just kept saying, you know what? I'll wait next year when I start making more money, or I'll wait when I file my income tax and I get a little chunk of money, then I will just invest it right away. Then, as I'm waiting to file my income tax at the end of the year to get a little more money to start my project, something comes up, right? When something comes up, and it reroutes that money. The money was intended to start an investment, right? But because I had something else that happened at the last minute, wait, what's going on with my live stream? It looked like I lost connection there. That has never happened to me before, but that's okay. All right. So, so I kept procrastinating, right? So I didn't do that. I ended up using the money, and I'm like, wow, like I don't feel like I'm making enough money. I'm gonna have to wait till I file my income tax next year. Then when I get my income tax next year, I'm going to go ahead and I purchase a land and start my agricultural project. That year comes around, I postponed it to the year after that. So I kept doing it consistently to the point to where I'm like, hold up. This is why you see people that don't share with others. They always have excuses like, I'm not barely making enough money, and therefore I can't share with people, right? Oh, I don't have enough money to contribute to something. When I make more, I will contribute then. Or a lot of the times, right? People will say, like I'm Christian, right? I'm Christian. I go to church and everything. I believe in like, using a portion of your salary to return to God, right? Some people will say, no, I'm not making enough money. I'll wait till I start making more money and I will do it. Well, understand if you can't do it with the little bit of what you have, believe it or not, you were never going to do it even when you have an abundance of whatever it is that you think you want more of it. Whether it is money, cars, whatever, right? It's just not going to happen because it is a sort of mentality that eternalizes in a lot of people's mind. When it dwells in you, it makes a lot of plans difficult to materialize because you will be under the impression, you will convince yourself to believe in order for you to do something greater, you will need to have more money, and thus giving you the ability to accomplish your plans, which is wrong. Guys, trust me, the longer you wait, the more difficult it will become for you to make any projects happen, to accomplish any projects. Because I've been there. Do you know, like, we've all, right, let me just go back to using, like, a school for a little bit. We all have been in situations where we were in college. You had assignments that were due, right? Let's just say in a couple of days. You keep procrastinating till the very, very last minute. You're like, oh my God, like the homework is due, today at midnight. So you know what? I'm gonna take off work. I'm gonna stay home all day. I'm going to, submit this homework, right? So what does that? What happened eventually? Your quality of work will not be present, right? Because you have to go back to the book and start studying like randomly, trying to collect enough info just to submit a report just because it is due. But you didn't spend enough time to study the materials that you were submitting your homeworks for, right? And that makes everything difficult. And at the end of the class, you may pass the class, but you probably don't have enough knowledge that you have accumulated throughout the class because you kept procrastinating everything. You were doing things at the very last minute, and then therefore you just submitted work not because you wanted to, but because it was an obligation. And in order for you to get those grades, you needed to submit those work as long as you didn't drop out, right? But you just only did it because of the grades. But if it wasn't nobody grading your paper, you probably wouldn't have done that, would you, right? So I'm sure we've all been in those sort of situations. It ain't no different in life. Trust me, the reason it's taking you so long to work on your projects, to start a business, to start investing in real estate, anything that you have developed interest in, is because you believe that you have to wait till the right moment. You have to wait till you start making enough money, or you have a great salary that's going to make it possible for you to finance those problems. But guess what? We all know the way money works. Today, if you were making 20 bucks an hour, for instance, right, and you didn't have a car, or you were just driving a beat up car, if you get a job that pays you $30 or $35 an hour, you would want to go to a dealership and get you a new whip, buy you a brand new car, and start making our payments, right? And you will probably like, oh man, but when you do that, your insurance costs will be much higher because of the price of the vehicle. Excuse me. That's number one. And number two, when you're like, oh man, I feel like after paying my car, I have enough money left, so let me get something else. You'll buy these unnecessary things and you put yourself in payment plans that you don't need, and then eventually you'll realize that you're making more money because you were asking for it, but you forgot that you asked for it. The reason you asked for more money is because you believed if you were making more money, then you will be able to start a business or start an investment. But when you start making more money, you don't see the need for it. You completely forget about your plan. And once you realize that all the money you're making is going towards paying bills and you're almost left with nothing, now you say the bars and say again, oh man, now I have to wait till I'm finished making payments on my car. Then when I start earning the full amount from my salary, then that time I will be able to start, on my investments or whatever, right? And then while you continue to believe in that, you approaching almost to the end of your car payments alongside of other things, then your car breaks down. Now your car start acting up. Your car is not reliable enough to get you to work back and forth. Now, guess what you want to do? You're like, no, I don't want to go through this mechanics, and I don't want to spend all this money to take my car to a mechanic shop to get it fixed. I just want to get another car. This time, I'll probably try to find a more affordable vehicle. But guess how many affordable cars are out there at dealerships these days? Because everything is so high in prices, right? And now it becomes a cycle. Before you know it, you started planning on doing an investment or starting a project or whatever it is when you were 20 years old. 10 years later, you still haven't started anything yet. So now you circle back, you want to blame somebody else for the mistakes that you are so making by yourself. Guys, I came up with this topic because I've seen people do it a lot more than you can possibly think. I used to be that guy. The moment I started my investment, I told you guys how I came up with the money to buy my land, right? We were doing this contribution among friends. We call it susu, right? For my Congolese folks, you know, we call it likelemba. So I did one of those. We were chipping in, I think it was $400, $400 every 2 weeks or something like that. So I got like $6,000 from it, and it allowed me to purchase the land, use what little bit of that I had left to, start the paperwork process so they can transfer everything under my name. It took care of all of that, and then eventually I started growing trees. But because I had already made the decision that I wanted to buy land, oh man, this is a sunset. It looks so beautiful. Man. Oh God, I love the nature. Anyways, so when I bought the land, right, and I started, growing trees and other crops, it was a huge responsibility for me to take on. So now that I have something that the money needs to go towards, there you go, that's my investment right there. Now it's like, okay, I need to behave myself in a more responsible way financially so that I don't mess this up. I know that in the past I made multiple mistakes in the way I spent the money. And after, until I literally, started to make more, wise decision in my finances, it paid off. And here I am today. Fast forward, after I acquired my piece of land, I got a pig barn built, I got a house built, and potentially the animals are moving in soon, right? You know how I did that? I didn't sit down waiting to, win a lottery to come up with the money because I knew it was going to cost me more to do that. I didn't sit around. I'm doing everything every step of the way. I'm not saying this telling you that I made it. I'm just telling you guys that whatever it is that you're planning on doing, keep in mind it's not going to happen as long as you're procrastinating. Procrastination is a bad virtue when you have plans to do in the future. Just keep that in mind. Because if had I not made a decision to purchase my land, I wouldn't have started this, agricultural project that I have. And that actually gave me something to invest money in. That's why I am working hard. I'm working endlessly to come up with the money to create something in my image. Because waking up every morning, going to work, I'm putting this effort because I want that thing to work. And the only thing that will make it possible is if I putting enough work towards what I'm doing and putting enough seriousness. And that's the only way that's going to work. Okay? So don't even think about something, imaginary that you want to do if you're not willing to start right away. Because the longer you wait, the more difficult it will become. And trust me, there are people who would build homes from the scratch. $1,000, $500, $2,000, $400. And before you know it, years later, the project is complete. And I also want to focus on something that a lot of Africans that a lot of Africans, I said Africans because more contents on my YouTube channel lean towards Africans or look towards Africa because that's where I'm doing my business at. And I would hope that Africans that are subscribers of my channel who watch my videos can also learn something from what I say and probably use that in their advantage. What I was trying to say is that us as Africans, we have the propensity of wanting things to happen once for all and then done. We don't have patience for nothing. We want certain things done, but we don't want to put the amount of efforts required to achieve those goals. And we don't have long-term goals either. At least most of us don't. Some of us want to be an entrepreneur, but they don't want to go through the struggles that will require you to go through in order for you to become a very well accepted entrepreneur. It's got ups and downs. It's got obstacles that you have to overcome. So if you're not willing to overcome those obstacles, I don't know how much more that I need to tell you to make that work. You know? And that's a serious problem if you think that you are entitled to something, but you don't have enough energy to put in the work that is required to achieve that objective. That is very unprofessional and unnecessary, I don't know what term should I use. That is very unprofessional way of saying things. If you think you're just gonna wake up one morning and everything is handed to you in a silver spoon, then I don't know what to tell you. You're probably living on a wrong planet. You might as well take the trip to planet Mars when things may be easier for you. But down here on planet Earth, that is how things are done, and that is what is expected from you. You will need to put the exact amount of work to get the results that you need, right? It's just as simple as that. Some people come from families where they don't have to work hard because their parents have already worked harder. They have created generational wealth and they only passing it on to the other generations, and they're enjoying it. They don't even have to get jobs. They don't even have to get a college education. They may want it if they want to get educated, but it's in terms of financial security, they're set for life. And that's one thing that you should also worry about doing, so that you create generational wealth even when you're not around. Your family can still benefit from that, or they can inherit it from you and can make it continue from generation to generation. Look at McDonald's and all these other big corporations. There are people who started them, right? Even when we talk about, let's just talk about black stuff, for instance, like civil rights movements, Martin Luther King's, Malcolm X, all of these activists, prominent activists that we know who had fought for the freedom of black Americans, right? Who have fought for segregation, who have fought for the injustices that had been inflicted upon, minorities in America, or even when we talk about in Africa, in the continent, right? Our independence fathers in Congo, for instance, Lumumba, it cost his life, right? But guess who benefited from that independence? It's us Congolese people. I mean, today we might argue that we're really not free. And I do agree with that. My ideas and my ideologies align with folks that think that way, because that's the same exact way that I think. But at least we don't have Belgium running Congo. We don't have anybody, running anything. It's basically ourselves. Like a lot of the mistakes that we've made, a lot of mistakes that we were making, or even the corruptions and everything that are happening, it is done with among ourselves. It is done within Congolese people or within other Africans, right? Nobody has forced those upon us. We just have to fight more in an international level to end certain things that are happening in African borders, like wars that are being fought and all of these other things that are meant to continue to keep Africa poor. to continue to keep Africa dependent on like foreign currency or whatever the case may be. You understand what I'm saying? So it is very important that we understand those things, right? I kind of went a little above and beyond to talk about, to use these examples to kind of clarify the point that I'm trying to make. Talking about procrastination, it's because it doesn't get us any positive results. It doesn't really get us anywhere, right? And it goes the same even how the way we run our household, right? You get home from work after working long hours. You knew you had planned on cooking something as soon as you get home, but then when you get home, you're so tired. Oh man, I don't feel like cooking. I'm just gonna order out. And you know the consequences of ordering out all the time. The food is probably of poor quality, right? And you're not, and it's only contributing to deteriorate your health even further, right? So all of those things, if you really look at it, it is only meant to hurt you more than it does help you. You will think you're doing yourself a favor, but procrastinating, waiting till the right moment, but the only thing you're doing, it is just delaying your possibility of reaching your objective so early in life, where you don't have to work any longer for anybody ever. You just ruining that for yourself. It goes the same way in real life. Continue to procrastinate, you will get bomb results. It's just as simple as that. I don't mean to hold you too long on this live stream, because I really don't know what time some of you are online and sometimes what time some of you are not. And that's the purpose that I do this live stream. I'm be doing this live stream these days is because I'm still trying to familiarize myself with my audience. So I do it to work related reasons, right? I guess that's all I had to say about this topic pretty much. It really, really means a lot. And I highly encourage you to hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not already. Live stream and you think that the things that I'm saying are making sense, or the things that I'm saying you're getting value from it, please hook me up, hit the like button, share the video with a friend, and hopefully we grow this YouTube community to an extent where we'll be doing live stream with one another, discuss some of these issues that a lot of us have in common. All right. So thank you for granting me your time to, come in front of you and talk to you. I really appreciate it. Any comments are welcome. Give me my opinion in the comment section down below, and I would really appreciate it. Until the next video, I'll see you guys later. I'm hoping that I will do quote me on the farm. All right. So that's kind of like where I'm at. And if everything is good to go and I have time, of course, I will come back here to chat with you and talk to you, and looking forward to, sharing some ideas with you guys. And I'm also curious to hear what you have to say in the comment section down below. And let me know how you feel about this topic, and let me know if you ever been in such a position and you're probably considering to change that. Because believe it or not, I've been there, and I want you guys to also get out of that, ego, or get out of that mindset. Better than now. All right, guys. So enough of that. Peace out. Happy Wednesday. I'll see you probably tomorrow.